Alright, here we go with part 2. Had a little bit of a venue change because my family's invaded my other reviewing space. So anywho, we're going to go ahead and get started on part 2 of my review of the Kershaw Oso Sweet. Look at that. Is that a good looking knife or what? And speed, we've already talked about a little bit, and this knife is really fast, as you can see there. I mean, it whips out, bam, just a little flash coming out with very little effort. I mean, that's just a little bit of a flick, and that thing is flying out. Can I do it as fast with my Columbia River? Yeah, pretty much. But, you know, it requires a little bit more effort. I think this Columbia River blade, in my opinion, is balanced a little bit better than this blade. However, with the assist, it doesn't really matter. I just think this is a little bit more better balanced. It flies open really easily, even without the assist and with a larger blade. So, maybe a little bit better balanced. But that doesn't detract from the fact that this thing is lightning fast. So speed is excellent. Lockup is really good, as I think I've mentioned already. Very tight, no wiggling there in any direction. So that's real tight. And strength, I think, is good as well. Of course, this is a liner lock, so it's not going to be as strong, you know, as something like this, which is a lock back. You know, which this one is a Remington knife, not a real high-end knife, but, you know, that lockback is just really strong because of the way it's made. I mean, the lock is as thick as the blade, and you got, I mean, a big old piece of metal that has to move and a big spring, so it locks up real tight. And a liner lock is easier to actuate, easier to use, and not quite as strong, because it's a thinner piece of steel, and because of the fact that instead of locking down and meeting flush with the steel, it kind of pops up and there's a little ramp of steel so it doesn't get stuck. So, you know, just the design of the lockback, or the liner lock, is a little bit weaker than a lockback or an axis lock, but it's still, for a lockback, this is, or a liner lock, this is pretty strong. I don't think this is weak at all, because these stainless steel inserts are fairly thick, and of course that stainless steel insert is what holds it, so I think that's a pretty durable lock. And I think it'll hold well. Strength-wise, the rest of the knife, I'm going to say strength is excellent. You can see how thick that blade is. I mean, compared to this M16, this blade on this Kershaw is much thicker than the M16, and I think this M16 is, I mean, you know, it's a pretty substantial blade, but this thing's even thicker on the spine. Of course, this M16 is double tapered, so the thickest point is the middle, and it's tapered off to the edges, whereas this, the thickest point is the back, so it's only tapered in one direction, which means it's thinner in the middle than this Columbia River. But still, that's a big old thick blade. That's going to be a strong blade. I mean, if you stab someone with that, that's not going to snap off or anything. Very strong blade. Like I've said, the lockup is real tight, and part of that, I'm sure, is due to these stainless steel liners, which are full and non-skeletonized, and they're just real sturdy. And of course, it has a full-length Zytel backspacer. So full-length backspacer, which also adds strength. Some people won't like that because it doesn't let things flow through, but I like the backspacer design. This one has a partials backspacer, and I like that. Of course, there's knives like this Gerber pear frame that have got a full pillared construction, and some people like that because it just lets junk flow through and it's easier to clean out. I personally like this Zytel backspacer because I think it just adds some strength. So yeah, good strong knife. Obviously, haven't used it much because it's a new knife, so we'll see. But that's just my take on it for now. You know, if something else comes up, I'll annotate the video. Handle material is glass-filled nylon, basically Zytel. And, you know, they've done that cool little checkering stuff on there, almost like scales, so gives you some good grip on that glass-filled nylon or Zytel compound. So very grippy. I like that handle material. It is a little bit less expensive handle material, but that's not a bad thing because that brings down the cost of your knife. And I think it's still a perfectly serviceable handle material. Maybe not as high-end as something like G10, but it's still really nice. Ergonomics of this knife are extremely excellent. It just fits the hand so lovely. I mean, I picked it, you just have to feel one of these because you pick it up out of the box and it just, I mean, it fits perfectly in your hand and it's just excellent. I just love it. I mean, I really like holding it. It feels good. Flipping it open is easy, and it's, you know, the finger groove is just right where you need it, and this fits perfectly in your palm, and nice little thumb ramp there, so good knife. I like the way it holds. I like the ergonomics of that. This just, I mean, it lays right in your palm. You grasp it naturally, and you can hold it this way if you want. Grasps well this way too. So really good ergonomics that way. Clip design is also excellent on this knife. Of course, the clip is kind of funky, you know, a little bit of an organic shape there. I could do without that. I mean, something like this is just a straight clip would work just as well. Comes up pretty high on the knife. You know, that's all that's going to stick out. Could have gone a little higher, but I think it's good where it is. And another thing that's excellent, positionable clip. Tip up or tip down carry. I prefer tip up. Haven't changed this one yet. I probably will to tip up carry, because then you can just draw the knife straight out of your pocket and whip it open and you're ready to rock and roll, rather than having to draw it out this way, rotate it, and then pop it open. So a little bit faster, but excellent job, Kershaw, with that positionable clip. Not positionable to the other side, but you can choose tip up or tip down at least, and I'll take that. Much better design than my M16, which does not have a positionable clip at all. You're stuck there. Same for the Evo and the Paraframe. So they all lose in clip design. And durability, I think durability of this knife will be excellent. Kershaw just makes real good stuff. And for all the strength reasons noted, and the handle material, the blade material, the design of the stainless steel liners, and the pivot point, the torsion bar, I just think all that's going to hold up real well. If that's not the case, I'll annotate the video, but from all appearances, I think this knife will hold up well, and all my Kershaws have in the past. So I'm going to say this is another very durable knife. And the final thing, value. This is an excellent value. I got this knife for $17.45. So $17 is a ridiculous value for an amazing knife. If you can pull one in under $30, that would be excellent. This is the Kershaw Oso, JC the Sniper, signing off.